Okay, I think I'm recording. What's up, guys? It's Jenna from fillyourbooks.com. We are here with one of our kick-ass students, Ashley. She has had some amazing results, and watching her journey has been such a joy from my end. So I just had to get her on one of these videos so she can tell you guys about it. Ashley, why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where you're from?
Definitely. I am Ashley Nasrallah, based out of West Hollywood in my little home salon here, cozy right in my living room with the natural light. And my emphasis, and I have whittled that down a bit in Fill Your Books, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but my emphasis is hair extensions and bridal.
Awesome. Sweet. So how long have you been in the industry?
So I actually changed my career later in life. I'm probably in the minority here, but hopefully a little bit of an inspiration to anybody out there who thinks they can't do it, because I changed my career, decided to go to hair school like when I was, I think, 34 or something, and then, or maybe 32, and then did all that, during COVID and everything like that. And then now officially been in the industry about 2 years.
Awesome. Cool. And so you've been in the industry for 2 years, and you found us. Was it when you were in school or was it right after?
Literally, I had a month left of school, and being the planner and organized person that I am, and probably aggressively so, I was like, I have to get this going. And so I did find you guys. I had seen a couple ads pop up. It's, that algorithm, it gets you. And
we know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true too. Duh. And so I'd seen it and I was like, why not just get prepared? I know the license is going to be right next. And of course, there are certain things like bridal and extensions and even just practicing on your friends, that, you can get a head start for while you're really trying to fill your books. So why not? I saw it, I think December 19 and got started. Yeah.
That's wild. Tell me a little bit about what your first kind of experience is. I guess, right? Yeah. What were your first experiences with Fill Your Books? Like, what were kind of those emotions that were going through you when you first started? Did you have any fears as you were kind of dipping your toes in the water?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So a couple things. That's a great question because it brings back such nostalgia. I remember having my interview call with one of the teammates, and my biggest fear at the time is, and this goes in tandem with my old industry of finance, was thinking, how am I going to afford this? It's not that it's out of the question. It's not that it's overpriced. We all know that. Huge investment in your business. I'm a big proponent of that. But just starting out in school, like, it's obvious. And if you want to fill your books, you're probably not, up to speed with somebody who's a seasoned stylist or whatever other industry of beauty that you're in. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is a big chunk of change. What if this doesn't work? Yada, yada, yada. But needless to say, that has paid itself back almost immediately. I mean, if you follow the program and you pay attention, but why wouldn't you? Because you made that investment, right? Yeah. But then once I got into the program, I mean, it's really about getting out of your comfort zone, but that is part of this industry too. I mean, I'm probably an oddball in the industry where if I could make the same amount of money doing like a mannequin head, I would, because I like just talking to people gives me, whatever. So I know, but it's a big part of the industry, but it's also a big part of the program. And I feel like it not only was something that has to help you, but it's a big part of, changing and evolving yourself, growing as a person. Things like the DM strategy and other things that people will see when they're in the program really helped me grow as a person and get out of my comfort zone and also practice consistency. So it was a big fear of mine, because you go through the modules and you think like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then even when you get a negative response or no response from people, whether that's ads or DMs or whatever, you start to get a little bit like, is this ever going to work? Am I doing something wrong? What's wrong? Whatever. But you just have to keep going. And, how bad do you want it? What's your why,
I love that. Do you remember what your first win was? Like, do you remember your first booked appointment?
Yes, I do. And she's still a client.
I love that. 2 years later.
So one of the fun parts about the whole DM strategy thing, because this was an organic person, and I was a skeptic in the beginning of like, okay, I know the paid ads are going to work. It's a proven system. And the DM strategy, like, not only is it out of my comfort zone, but it's, probably not, never going to work. I couldn't have been more wrong. I remember it. And especially because hair extensions is kind of a niche. So, take this with a grain of salt. It might be a little bit easier for some people, but I remember trying a influencer model type approach. I mean, she's not really an official influencer, but oh God, I hope she's not watching this.
Just kidding. Immediately sending it to her email.
but good following, works in social media, all that. And so I knew it was going to take like model rates, model prices, all that kind of stuff to kind of reel her in. And I
Yeah.
got her. But another cool thing about all the other wins that come along with it is the fact that, once these people model for you and you get them hooked on whatever it is, the service you offer, because Lord knows we're all do what we do. It's just getting the seat, getting butts in chairs.
Yeah.
And now she's like a full paying client who comes back to me every 6 weeks. And I'm sure it'd be the same thing for somebody who does nails or color or whatever. So, they get, you reel them in with that intro, and that was a huge win for me. And then ultimately a lot of them turn into, all the time clients. So whether that's a client you're trying to get on the books or whether it's a model you're trying to intro or get for content, it was so cool. That was such a fun win because I never expected that. I would have been fine with her coming and doing some pictures, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think it goes to show, if you're able to get outside of your comfort zone, if you're confident in what you do, and you're confident in the fact that I'm going to give this 100% to make this person continue to pay me, so that they're not just the value of a one-time service, but they're going to be with me for years and years to come. Like, getting out of your comfort zone that one time can create thousands of dollars for yourself. And of course, we care about our clients on a personal level. Like, they're people, they're not just dollar signs. But when you are building your business, I think it's important to also state that you and I and everybody who's in this industry, we're creative individuals, right? We're more we're more emotionally based, which means our top priority is making sure we're great at our craft and making sure that we're having that emotional connection with our clients. But
Absolutely.
the part that's missing is like the business side of it, which business is dollar signs, it is numbers, it is black and white sometimes. So if you're able to step out of that a bit and realize, like, hey, if I just get out of my comfort zone in this one area, I can completely change the game for myself, which you 100% did.
And you got to do it. But think about that investment you made too. It's like, do you want it to pay itself back? But that's at the bare minimum. That's at the foundations of it. It's really, I never expected the personal growth that I got from it. And it was really cool. It's cool to look back on, for sure.
What are some of the, I know you said like getting out of your comfort zone, talking with people. What are some other key things that you feel like changed for you personally since going through it?
Absolutely. So I will say that I do feel like I have a leg up because I'm good at organization and time management and stuff. But I did notice there was a time blocking activity in the new one. And I'm loving that because I felt like it was a puzzle piece that I never knew was missing. But being good at that kind of stuff, I think that what's important is that you have the program, you have the blueprint, the outline that's already a proven system, but you also do have to have the technical skills to back it up. So a lot of people, such as myself, I'm sure, are straight out of hair school or starting something new. And I guess my 2 cents on that would be you use them in conjunction with one another and use your time wisely, because getting out of your comfort zone and the growth all comes from, how badly do you want it? So when I wasn't working on my technical skills, I was, watching every module, writing things down, taking notes, making lists, of things I wanted to do. And when I wasn't doing that and I was letting that all sink in, I was working on my technical side. I mean, it is a combination of both, but like I said, proven blueprint that helps. I mean, you just can't go wrong with that side. It's written for you. Just, just follow it and do it.
That's
Consistency.
awesome.
That was another one I learned. Consistency.
Yeah.
Because, there are going to be those days that get really discouraging, or you get a message back or no message back. And you think like, gosh, why am I doing this every day? But one thing that I remember Kory saying in one of the modules is that I always use this example because the DM strategy is the biggest comfort zone thing for me. But I remember him saying like, it takes like 5 or 10 minutes out of your day. So I don't care how much anyone, including myself, hates doing that or putting themselves out there. If that's what they're feeling, it's the consistency that matters. You can be uncomfortable for 10 minutes out of your day.
Oh, 100%. That's it. And then you could just do your thing, throw your phone, go for a walk, whatever. And then you can worry about it later. You could just like erase it from your mind. And then before you know it, you don't have to do that anymore because that's your new standard. And in regards to consistency, I mean, like I said, you've been with us for 2 years now. And to some people, 2 years might seem like that's a while, but I would like you to attest to how quickly those 2 years really did go by, coupled with consistency, and talk about, if you're comfortable, that financial growth that happened in those 2 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Yeah, I would say that I hit the program hard. So going back to the time blocking stuff, I mean, I remember in the very beginning, this is definitely something I wanted to touch on because
Yeah.
it's just so funny to think about. But going back to the beginning, I remember I signed up for the program and then like I don't know, like 3 weeks went by because I wanted to like hit the ground running and then I couldn't find the time to do it. And all of a sudden I was like, again, going back to that investment and thinking about that, I'm like, I just have to do it. So to me, it's like the bite-sized chunks. It some of those modules are, 12 minutes long. That's like an average in the
Yeah.
beginning, especially. And doing one a day, even just to continue that little chugging along, is better than doing nothing for 3 weeks or however long you're putting it off. So I absolutely just say start to go for it. Then once you gain that momentum and you start doing that and you keep yourself organized, that's the key, because again, the blueprint's there laid out as to how to keep yourself organized. The spreadsheets are there, the everything's do it, do the action, plug in your data, and then the momentum will start to grow. So as you probably noticed, I'd been a little absent in the shadows for a while. I always keep up with the group, but as
Yeah.
far as posting and asking questions, utilize all of that is my biggest advice in the beginning. I mean, I can't tell you how many annoying questions I probably asked, but between the community and you and Kory answering every single thing, I mean, the attention to detail there is like unmatched. I really kind of started to figure it out, and the momentum was gained to the point where I just started to take off. And so, like I said, I would say top dollar services, bridal
Yeah.
and extensions, but that's just something I personally wanted to focus on. So in terms of like the technical side and thinking about the program in conjunction with that, I would say it goes back to the age old saying of don't be the jack of all trades or you're the master of none. Try
Yeah.
and focus on, and you do mention this a lot
Yeah.
actually, throughout the program. Try and hone in on one or two things that you're really, really good at. And become the master of those things, apply the program to those things, and then it will start to take off. So for me, I did that, applied it to those things. And I recently had my first $1,000 straight profit, not including like supplies and all that day, which was really cool. Huge milestone for me. I
That's
probably almost started
awesome.
crying. No, I definitely almost started
No, you
crying.
you definitely did. She posted the group. She came out of the shadows and was like, "Hello, everybody. I just made $1,000 day."
Yes, and I know that we share those wins, so it's super fun
Yeah.
because not only is it a great group for asking questions and bouncing ideas off one another, but we all share our wins too. So that's cool because it keeps you really motivated if you're having a down day to see other people share their successes and know that you could be the next one or that you're
Yeah.
right there with them or whatever. And then I think I was going to say too. About the just sort of getting there. One thing that we had talked about in the beginning of my journey is that my biggest goal, my biggest why, aside from buying a house in LA, but I'll probably be 85 when that happens because it's LA, was to be able to quit my full-time job. And it's safe to say that after everything going on, I'm only about 6 months away from that. But I say that with a grain of salt because I know that like 2 years in the program, you'd think like, oh, well, how come it took you that long? But I say this only for transparency, but it was a six-figure job. So to get up to
Yeah.
matching that
Yeah.
did take a little longer than if it was a $30,000 job or whatever. So I do want that to be clear, not as a humble brag, but as it
Yeah.
might be a lot faster for some people to get the same type of results. So I'm almost
No, you're so
there.
close. That's awesome. And I cannot wait to send you one of those little trophies. You can't see it because it's like clear. Send you one of
Please.
those little six-figure trophies. One of those is in the mail and on the way, literally dated and ready to go. I am so, so, so excited for you. And I mean, I'm sure if you're watching this, you can tell Ashley is just such a joy and she's been an amazing part of the community and she just works her ass off. And like I said, it's been in one of those amazing, amazing journeys to watch. I would say, what would you tell someone, Ashley, who's thinking about joining Fill Your Books, or maybe let's say you're talking to the version of you before you join, you just got out of school. What would be your advice to them?
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked me this. I am for a second gonna have to turn into like mom of three, get a little cheesy here,
I like
but I one of my favorite like quotes, memes, whatever you want to call it,
it.
is the strength is in the hustle, right? I mean, here's the deal. You can invest in any program that you want. Fill Your Books, any other thing. Not that I recommend that because Fill Your Books, top notch. But it's all a matter of how bad do you want this. It's still a program that requires work. It requires your consistency. It requires you to put in the work. And that isn't just about the Fill Your Book stuff. It's the other stuff we talked about, the technical side too. I mean, but why I say I like that quote and how it relates back to this is there's so many other opportunities I've gotten in my life, whether that's educational programs or jobs or whatever. And I compare myself to those people thinking, well, I'm a mom of three. I don't have the time to do that. There's, these people who have the time to be successful and be whatever are those people who don't have any kids, or they started off with more money, than I did to try and invest in my business or whatever. But that you just all excuses aside, and I tell you, as a mom of three kids under 5,
Yeah.
you
Well,
have to make the time. You have to make those sacrifices. There are the trade-offs. You work something out with, your significant other, or you figure out how to, you come home and you just make it happen, as far as get that Red Bull and make it happen.
yeah.
To work harder before your job or after your job. I mean, I was always one to fall into that category of like, oh, there must be some reason why another person could be successful. But
Yeah.
I can tell you, it's just, you can't think like that. And so, starting your journey, just know that it is work. You have to do that work. It's not just watching videos and whatnot, but you do it and you'll see that you'll get the same results as everybody else who's on that way up.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that. Because it's so true. You just have to make the time. There's no like I hate I hate the sayings you hear. It's like you and Beyonce have the same 24 hours, but like it's true. Like
I've never heard that.
I know it's like everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. It's just what are you doing with it and how bad do you want it? And that's the beautiful part about being a part of a community that is like-minded and everyone's kind of on that same path. Because if you're the 5 people you surround yourself with, if your community of people isn't at that next level, it's going to be like working uphill to do that. When you have people who are in your corner rooting for you, it makes it that much easier. But
absolutely,
especially people like you, Ashley, you are awesome. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this. And if you are still watching, please head over to fillyourbooks.com. Feel free to fill out an application to chat with one of our success coaches. We'd love to help you. And yeah, follow me at Jenna O'Hare. Ashley, what's your Instagram?
That blonde stylist with underscores in between the words.
That _blonde_stylist. Give Ashley a follow. I will see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching.